Let's analyze a high-level college singles point to see what you can learn and apply to your own single strategy. Now, first, this video is courtesy of J Tennis on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to their awesome channel. I've put their link in the description below. It's so fun to go through points slowly and look at them in detail. There's so much to learn. So the first thing is, let's look at the toss. Let's look at the toss timing. As you know, I'm a fan of using a timer to decide if your toss is the right height. So you want to put the ball at the top of the head, and then you throw a timer down. And the timer should say 0.6 to 0.9 seconds. Anywhere in that range, you're good. So he's contacting the ball at 0.89 seconds. That is within the range of 0.6 to 0.9 seconds. He's just got in there at the end, so his toss is not too high. This is perfect. Let's look at the return. Notice where the returner is standing before the serve is hit, and then look how he goes forward. So you want to have pre-movement. So make sure that you are aggressive with your forward movement when you're returning serve. If you want to stand here to return serve, then start back here and then move forward. Always go forward to the return. That's what you want. You want to get your body weight going in to the ball. When you return serve, I'm a big fan of using thirds to help you aim your return. So don't aim to the corners, especially on a first serve that, where you're standing far back. Aim more to the center. Let's see where he hits this return. Yeah, he got it right in there. Stuck it in there in the center third of the court, which is awesome. Now, after the return is hit by this player, watch how he moves to the side. He moves with sidestepping. So when you are returning, you're over here and you need to move back to the center, you want to face forward as you move across. You want to think of almost playing defense in basketball where you're facing the guy with the ball, but you are sliding and moving side to side. And that makes it very easy then to split step correctly and change direction, which is what he has to do. Now, I noticed something really neat here with the server. When the ball comes back to him, he realizes that the returner is coming back to the center, so he's going to use that to his advantage, and he's actually going to try to wrong foot the opponent. Watch what he does here. It's a slight little move. He's going to hit this ball, and he's going to step forward, because one of the times to go to the net is when your opponent's in trouble, and he's trying to get his opponent in trouble by pinning it back to the backhand. Watch him go forward. See that step right there? That is not part of the follow-through, so don't think that. He is actually hitting this ball. He goes forward and then has to step back. And you watch it in real time, you can see that he's thinking about going forward. Watch this again. He hits, goes forward, and then comes back. So he's actually thinking, if I can get him in trouble, I am going to attack. But he decides not to come forward. Now, here's where things get interesting. The returner, player in black, he uses what's called a mogul stance. A mogul stance is an open stance on the move, and you keep your feet apart as you hop. But here's where things get interesting because the ball hits the tape. So the ball hits the tape and it pops up. And I want you to watch how close to the net it lands. This is insane. Look at this. That ball lands a few inches from the net. It's amazing. I want you to watch how the server reacts. He initially turned because you can see he's trying to hit a backhand. I'm sorry, I'm trying to hit a forehand. He's moving around this ball to not hit a backhand and to hit his forehand. But watch how he turns to blast a forehand. But immediately upon seeing that it's a let cord, look how he starts pumping his arms. This is not typical in recreational tennis. In juniors and adults, when the ball tips off the net or if there's a drop shot and the ball barely goes over the net, what you don't typically see is players pumping their arms going after this ball. They tend to keep their arms very still while still holding on to the racket, which isn't what you want to do. You want to do exactly what the server is doing. The next time your opponent tips the ball off the net and it barely goes over the net, work on pumping your arms. Yes, this is actually a skill that you need to work on because most players do not pump their arms, which means they don't run as fast as they can possibly run. Now, the returner, the player in black, notice when he tips the ball against the net, and, well, he doesn't do it on purpose, but notice when it happens, he recognizes, whoa, I need to get inside the court. So watch where he goes. He goes into the middle of no man's land. When you hit a great drop shot or a let cord, you need to move inside the court because there's a rule in single strategy. And that is you want to drop shot a drop shot. So if your opponent hits a let cord or a drop shot against you, it's a good idea for you to hit a drop shot back. And if the player in black had stayed back here, if the player in white hits a drop shot, if he's back here, he's never going to get up to that ball. So he moves inside the court, realizing that the player in white is going to get to this ball just a few inches off the ground. And so he wants to be in no man's land in case the ball is hit deep. He can get that ball out of the air. And if the ball is hit short, then he can run up and get it no matter which direction he hits. Let's look at the split step timing, by the way. The proper timing on a split step is to be in the air as your opponent hits. So there's the contact, and you can see the player in black has split stepped correctly. So you want to jump before the opponent hits, be in the air as they hit, and then land after. That synchronizes your brain with when your feet hit the ground. That way his feet are hitting the ground as his brain reacts. There's about a 0.2 second delay in our visual reaction time. In fact, we can actually go to when the ball is being struck right there. We can throw down a timer and see when the player in black has his feet hit the ground. It should be around 0.2 seconds. So let's see what it is right there. Oh, look at that. 0.19. So there you go. So 0.2 seconds is around the, it's a generalization for player to player, how long it takes for them to visually react. So that's why you want to be in the air as your opponent hits, so that when you land, that's when your brain is reacting, and then you actually have a quicker first step. Now, initially, the player in black sees this ball and he thinks, oh, topspin. He's got a topspin grip. He's ready to blast this ball. The player in white comes up. You can see him slide. That is not a video I'm going to be making anytime soon. I'm not going to be responsible for people getting injured trying to slide. But he tries to chip the ball. It's a beautiful technique, by the way. He doesn't slam his racket against the ground, the player in white. Again, look at the timing of the split step. And he goes for this little drop shot over the net. Now, as soon as the ball barely goes over the net, look at the player in black. Look at him pumping his arms. It's kind of funny when you watch them going backward, isn't it? But when the ball is way out in front of you and you need to run fast, pump your arms. Again, this is really only what I see from extremely high level players. So if you want to be high level, you got to pump your arms when you got to run forward. Now remember, he has his kind of like semi-Western grip here. He is ready to blast it with a topspin shot. But as he runs, he realizes, hey, I'm not going to be able to use topspin and get under this ball and spin it. I'm going to actually go for an underspin shot, which is what you see him doing here. So that is an underspin shot. He's putting just a little bit of underspin, not a lot of chop on it. Now, here's the real first mistake, or really only mistake I see, and it's the player in white. He, in this situation, doesn't really read the fact that the player in black is going to get to this ball below net level, and he ends up retreating almost all the way back to the service line. In fact, his right foot is almost on the service line. By him moving back so much, he really opens up the cross court. So if your opponent, if this is you and your opponent is running up and they're going to get to the ball above net level, sure, you might want to back up to give yourself time to react if they blast it. But if the player is running to that ball, and this is you, and they're going to get to that ball below net level, you got to be able to read that. You would want to stay close and then not give them the angle. You can see the slide, absolutely incredible. You can see his left foot, watch his left foot make a mark on the court, and he ends up hitting this great cross-court shot for a winner. Really cool. Not sure why he put his racket up. Maybe, I'm not a fan of that. I don't think you need to apologize. It's not like you did it on purpose. I think he might have been doing that because of the let cord. I think that's just something that players do, but I don't know. They don't really mean it. But it's really cool. If you ever just screen record a video on YouTube and then just go painstakingly through each idea and each movement and each grip change and strategy, it's just really cool. I hope you appreciated this because I loved going through this video. Now, if you made it all the way to this point in this video, then you need to pick up a copy of the Singles Playbook by Fuzzy Yellow Balls. over 50 pages of strategy after strategy that you can use to beat your toughest opponents. It's all diagrammed. There's a QR code that you hold your phone or tablet up, and a video of Will Hamilton from Fuzzy Yellow Balls pops up, and he teaches you the exact strategy. And the strategies are all broken down by the type of opponent you play against. The pusher, the counterpuncher, aggressive baseliner, serve and volleyer, Dr. Feelgood. Those are people who like to put a lot of spin on the ball. All court players and lefties. To pick up a copy of the singles playbook, just use my link. It's in the description. I'm also going to pin it in the first comment. Now, if you're looking for new people in your local area to challenge you when it comes to practicing or playing matches against singles or doubles, or if you're looking for a coach who's close to you who can help you with your game, then use my link for PlayYourCourt, and it's playyourcourt.com/2minutetennis. When you use my link to sign up, you get 50% off. I want you to go out and film yourself playing a match. I want you to scroll through slowly and watch yourself. Watch your opponent. Look for ways that you can improve your own game. Maybe compare what you're doing to some of the things you just watched in this video with high-level college players. If you do, there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.